So Doggy must have been watching First 48. He caught this mother. I Drop Dead, the Visine murders. By the that chapter, I almost said First 48. What's good? How you day going? Morning, evening, night, whenever you're checking out this video, man. You know what's crazy? Real quick, you know we're gonna talk a little bit of shit, then we're gonna get to the video. I already read through the description though. It's a chance I probably seen one of these cases, but either way it go, like just about only a year ago, I just learned it's cases legit where people actually trying to off people from using freaking eye drops. I did not know that was. I don't know why I get to whispering like that. I did not know that was a thing. I was like, the fact, and it's a couple cases I saw. I think it was one on a, it was on a Netflix documentary. It was on some documentary, I don't remember, but I was like, dog, this is the second case I saw like that. Didn't know it was a thing. Basically, maybe you already knew. Either way it go though, yo, you know me, gotta look at the thumbnail. This shit is sick, man. I was so angry, I squirted the entire Visine in his drink. You have dry, scratchy eyes. I will say this though, I hope this video is one of those videos where the people who committed this, like, everybody get caught. And I hope we get the interrogation. I want to see all this so damn bad, man, because that's an effed up way to off somebody. Legit, from what it sounds like, because remember the, was it the antifreeze one we saw as well? We watched one of those on the channel already. But either way it go, from what it sounds like it's legit eating your body from the inside out, and you be like foaming at the mouth and throwing up and dizzy, nausea, all that stuff. Is like, dude, that sounds painful as shit. But yo, either way it go, if you want to check out the original video, link will be in the description below. But let's go.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, what I'm talking to you about today is this stuff. Visine. Mizine. Get the red out? Well, today it's gonna get the dead out. In this old video, I'm gonna yap away about a number of stories, some big, some small, each linked by a lovely drop of Visine. More like a tremendous squirt. That sounds, this stuff mixed with some other stuff. I mean, it's eye drops, not drops dead, but it's all the same to these characters. It's all goo, really, so...
It's that big-ass T-word. I forgot what it is, because I looked it up before, boy. I be hating my search history. I'm like, man, my shit be looking so crazy. But I looked it up before, because I be nosy about shit, I ain't gonna lie. But I forgot what the word was.
Let's give it just that.
First 48.
So first of all, I've showed this like 5 times, but check it out. I got Visine as my prop. Pretty proud of myself. Focus, bitch. What do you think? I'm trying to impress you. It's not working, is it?
Hell no,
you know, we have a lot of fun on this show, my friends, but right now I want to get serious. Because Visine is no joke. I, for one, really hate using it. Eyes freak me out, I simply won't have it. But on a lighter note, let me tell you a small anecdote about one student in a high school in Fowlerville, Michigan, who obviously assumed the same about their teacher. That, you know,
Man, this dude be legit taking you into true crime in places you've never heard of. I don't know about you, maybe you're good with the map. I'm good with it. But regardless though, bro, I grew up in Michigan. That's where I'm born at, everything. Like, I ain't never in my life heard of that spot. That's crazy. I just like how you do that. My back to the story.
Obviously assumed the same about their teacher. That, you know, eyes. So he started putting it in his teacher's coffee. Actually, wait, no, I think I got my wires crossed here.
The teacher believes this went on for several days. She first started getting sick on a Thursday and Friday, then went home, felt better over the weekend, came back and got even sicker the following week.
In May 2014, algebra teacher Mary Aldecoa started getting very ill. She had horrible stomach pains and headaches and was out of commission for a time. Then, a rumor went around that over a 5-day period, one of the students had been dripping Visine into her coffee, the coffee she had left on her table in class. This all came out. Mary, she did make a full recovery and the student was suspended for a year. Great job!
But I have no doubt that he just saw it as a harmless prank. And it's not. It could kill people.
But she got off very lightly compared to some of the other stories I'm going to tell you about. Visine.
I'd have sued the shit out that family. I'm not gonna lie. Man, that's bullshit, dog. It's like I want to say, yeah, it do sound like it could have been a prank. Like, all right, I'm gonna just do this to F word. But at the same time, in high school, even though I would have known, like, it's still chemicals. I ain't about to put this in nobody's drink. Nah, dog should have got locked up.
He just saw it as a harmless prank. and it's not. It could kill people.
But she got off very lightly compared to some of the other stories I'm going to tell you about. Visine and other eye drops contain a chemical called tetrahydrozoline. It's not meant to go.
I tell you, it was a big word, or did I just don't remember the word? But regard, he couldn't say it neither, dog.
Chemical called tetrahydrozoline. It's not meant to go in the gob, right? Because if it does, it gets you really fucked up. And not in a good way. It's pretty toxic.
Know the symptoms.
If you take it.
Altered mental state, coma, difficulty breathing or no breathing, blurred vision, blue lips and fingernails. Oh, that shit look painful because it'd be looking like it'd be like painful to touch too. Changes in blood pressure, high at first, low later. Change in pupil size, fast or slow heartbeat, headache, irritability, low body temperature. Oh my gosh, this is crazy, dog. This is legit murder. Nausea and vomiting, nervousness, tremors, seizures, weakness. What the fuck? Alright, we let it play. Damn, this is crazy, dog.
Up. And not in a good way. It's pretty toxic. If you take enough of it, it will shut down your central nervous system. And then shut you down.
Seizures, weakness.
There's a couple of stories I want to look at in this old video. All had eye problems, as in, I am in trouble. So that means more than one, but let's begin with just that in a story that takes us to mystical. South Carolina. York County be the place that we, be, to begin. And let me begin, by the way, by saying that we have been there before with the story, if you remember, of Melvin Roberts. No spoilers, but the woman he was married to was gas, and not in a good way.
Damn.
So, in uppity South Carolina lies the county of York. There's a wily old lake named Lake Wiley, and that is where the Claytons lived. The Claytons being Stephen and his wife, Lana. And it was there that in July 2018, the police entered their house on Island Forks Road. Stephen was lying at the bottom of the stairs.
And myself and Stephen Clayton, do you need to take any position again? So she said she left the next day. Okay.
Pretty soon the police started knocking around the house, and what was initially assumed to have been some kind of heart attack, you know, like the regular kind, that theory was soon usurped by Lana's actions. Or rather, lack of them.
Ooh.
Steve and Lana had been married for 5 years by the time 2018 rolled around. And now it was no more.
Wait, he said, man, just down the drain. Damn.
Steve and Lana had been married for 5 years by the time 2018 rolled around.
2018.
And now it was no more. Steve Clayton was born in 1954, growing up with 3 sisters in South Florida. Here is Steve Clayton walking one of his sisters down the aisle. He graduated Florida State University in 1976 with one of them finance degrees and went to start a business, a beeswax. Physical Therapy Resources was the name of the game, with therapy centers across America. It was big, he made a few schcarrel, and he eventually sold his half of it and went on to become a full-on rape philanthropist. That's the one, at age 41. He became rich and successful at a relatively young age. And what did he want to do with it? Pay it forward by giving it back to the new up-and-comers. He was a decent guy who wasn't satisfied with his own success. He wanted others to succeed too.
I like it. It's always the ones with a good heart, or at least that's how the picture is painted. Because I ain't gonna lie, every time people go, everyone, it's common for people to always paint that good picture. I'm gonna be honest about your ass. Always. I love you, but you know me, I'm talking my shit. Rest in peace, but let me tell you about dog. Stop playing. It is what it is, though.
Satisfied with his own success, he wanted others to succeed too. He helped young, entrepreneurs with advice, with his resources, any strings he could pull, he would pull on the darn threads. He wouldn't yuck their yums, he was happy to support. And he was a fun guy to be around. Or at least that's what Lana Walsh thought when they met in 2010. Stephen was 55 years old when they started dating. He had moved up from South Florida to North Carolina, and that's where he met Lana, 12 years younger than Stevie. Steve could never really find the right woman for him. He was driven, he was outgoing, and despite being the life of the party, he didn't have much luck in love. He'd been up and down the aisle a couple of times, but nothing stuck. But now his luck is a about to
That's
change.
crazy.
And then change again. Lana was a nurse from Oklahoma, a sweet, quiet lady, unlike the gregarious Steve. But they seemed to make quite the pair, the yin to the yang. In 2013, they married, and in 2015, moved into a new home.
Man, don't tell me this about to be an insurance story, dog. I legit just don't get, and I've seen it with my own eyes too many times, which is bullshit, how people can sit back and be in an effed up situation. I'm just speaking in general at this point for people who do this type of stuff. Be in an effed up situation, right? Someone come save your life. Do hella better for you. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not lying. If it was like he was doing some ish, like beating her, damn near prostituting her out, selling her ish like that. You know them crazy stories how it be. If it's like that, then hey, my shit can change. But just for right now. And let's say, but back to the story, right? Be changing your life. Like shit better now. Boom, boom. I'm good. You take care of me. Thank you. Blah, blah, blah. I appreciate it. But actually, you know what? I need all of that just for me though. Like what the fuck? And then you're gonna lose it all again when you get caught. But in a worse way. So now not only is it back to noodles, but it's back to noodles in prison. The fuck? I ain't gonna lie though. Recently, them prison videos, boy, they been hooking shit up though. I them niggas be having dogs, and I was like, damn, that nigga made a state. Back to the story, my bad.
In 2013, they married, and in 2015, moved into a new home on Lake Wylie, South Carolina. Into a house remodeled after George Washington's Mount Vernon estate. Look at you! Life was good. Until June 2018, of course. He started getting nauseous, vertigo, generally just quite a ill feeling. Lana sent him to bed. He ended up sleeping for 2 days straight. Bollocks, he was. But 2 weeks later, he was back to his old self, life at a party, dancing away with Lana at a party he hosted. A month later, though, after that party, this call came in.
Public Safety Communications, Mrs. Amber.
Yes, ma'am. I'm down at Lake Wylie, 4506 Island Fork Road. I was just riding by and a woman came running out and said her husband fell down the steps and she thinks he's dead. So we need an ambulance.
Okay, and so the female flagged you down, said her husband
So she
fell down
didn't
the
do it?
steps?
She was hysterical. I think he might be gone.
Okay, but I do have everyone coming lights and sirens. I know you don't want to bother her. Has he been sick recently?
She said he had vertigo.
Kind of having guilt trips about not checking on him. I just take a look, see if you see any signs of him falling or anything.
Ma'am, I'm Sergeant Day. I'm going to be here for I'm going to be here for just a little while until the coroner gets here.
Lana said she had seen him that morning, fast asleep. Then she went out to cut the grass, and when she came back in, he was drop dead at the bottom of the stairs.
Miss Clayton, you were outside. You were working outside?
I was mowing the lawn real quick, and when I came in, the car fell. And I tried to
sorry.
I tried to put a blanket underneath him, I tried to grab his face and try to go. I couldn't.
Yes,
Man.
I don't know how he made it. I don't know what he was thinking.
I think this was the day God chose.
That's what I told him.
Wait, hold up, go back. Wait, what? Oh, it was an ad anyway, hold up.
Yes,
I don't know how he made it. I don't know what he was thinking.
I think this was the day God chose.
That's what I told him. You can't blame yourself for any of this.
Oh, no, not at all.
The coroner first said it was a heart attack, but the responding officers, much like a Star Wars character, had a bad feeling about this. He had no marks on him. He hadn't fallen down the stairs. So he had made it down and then he had a heart attack? ? Lana was a nurse. She hadn't tried to resuscitate Stephen. She hadn't called the emergency services. He had been bedridden. In a bed that looked like it was covered with, what's the word? Piss. If he was that bad, why didn't she take him to the hospital?
Right?
She wanted him cremated. Pretty sharpish. One other weird thing is that 2 years before he died, Lana shot Stephen in the head with a crossbow. That's pretty ridiculous.
What?
It only grazed his noodle, but fucking hell. Like, seriously, what? She almost killed him like 2 years before. But they both would come and say, oh, hey, it's an accident. They both said it was an accident.
The accident, you almost shoot me in my head with a crossbow. Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to jail for you know what that day. I ain't saying like I'm off that person. I'm saying for throwing hands, though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not about, hell no. A girl or woman or not. What the fuck, nigga? You just tried to shoot me with a crossbow, nigga? I don't care who my wife. I will beat the brakes off that ass. Hell no. Don't play with me.
It only grazed his noodle, but fucking hell. Like, seriously, what? She almost killed him like 2 years before.
What the fuck?
But they both would come and say, oh, hey, it's an accident. They both said it was an accident. Yeah, she hadn't meant to shoot it at his head. He was asleep at the time as well, so. And Stephen had told his family that he wasn't that happy with Lana. Not at all. Damn. And after Stephen's death, Lana would say the same. That Stephen liked the illicit substances. He was a bad boy in a bad way. And after his death, she cleared his stuff out fast as hell. Like, get the fuck out of here. She would have kicked it out if she could have. She also said he had no will, when clearly he did. His family knew all about it. Stephen had been a finance guy. He would have had a will. An autopsy was done, and it did say it looked like a heart attack. He had heart disease. But the wait was still on for the toxicology report. A toxicology report that would say it with me now, he had tetrahydrozoline in his system, a shitload of it.
Damn, a shitload?
Body cam showed that he had been bedridden for days. But it also showed Visine on a dresser on the other side of the bedroom. So he had been sucking it down, or it had been given to him. And the way he had been given quite a lot of it over a number of days. Not like one sip. In fact, maybe he'd even been given it 1 month before. Like a month before when he was sick, and he slept for 2 days, Visine will make you as sick as he was. So the toxicology report said tetrahydro thing probably killed him. So how did it get there? That was a question I put to Lana. As I said, he was bedridden. Visine was on the other side of the room.
We're sorry for your loss. You are by no means in trouble with this toxicology report that came back. Right now, the death is suspicious in nature. You know, if you were a witness in this case for us, somehow or other there was a large amount of Visine in his system. So that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of.
Well, that's why I know he put the Visine in his coffee. He puts it in there every day.
What do you know about it?
What do I know about it? I know it makes you have diarrhea.
I didn't think Visine was anything that would be serious to your to your health.
How was your life, man?
With him, sometimes we would have fun and everything, and then sometimes.
I'm confused really quick, even though I don't believe that. But I'm just trying to picture. I just go downstairs, get ready to go to sleep with my girl. She said, "Oh, hey, I got my little coffee." Like, oh, here you go. Oh, him and that Visine right there. I'm not just gonna let you just put Visine in your coffee, unless I miss it, because she said it pretty normal. So maybe I missed something. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know, dog. It can't be a thing, dog. Nah.
With him, sometimes we would have fun and everything, and then sometimes, I would be like on eggshells. Yeah, all the time I was on eggshells. Like everybody to think was perfect.
Of course, we all do.
Well, he had a genius IQ, and he was known for being an affluent businessman, for mentoring kids, for helping people, for being the fun, like a guy. But that's not what he was.
I feel I'm painting a bad picture of him. He wasn't, a monster. I feel like you guys are, doing your job, and you're, wondering if I killed my husband, and I did not kill my husband.
Lana's tactic was to say, well, this guy was a bit of a shit. He was an abusive son of a gun. See, this is some of that.
But if he was, he was. I don't know about that part. But if he was, then he was.
Was a bit of a shit. He was an abusive son of a gun. See, this is some of that kind of style bullshit. Oh, fuck, they're on to me. Whatever you think I did, he did worse to me.
Man. A little bit about Stephen, but it was worse than what I told you. He was verbally and physically abusive, and yell at me and call me names. His anger built up. I would do something that would irritate him until the point where he would explode.
Okay.
My girlfriend at work told me, you want to get even with somebody, put Visine in a drink, it'll cause diarrhea. When I saw that Visine on the table, it just came back to me, and I just I just took and squirted it.
And what did you squirt it into?
His water.
Into his water?
I just saw it and I was just so angry and I just took and squirted it. I think I put the whole thing in.
Put the whole damn, and he didn't taste that in water?
I think I put the whole thing in.
What? That is fucked up.
The police left and went back to decide what to charge her with. The next day when they came back, they found notes on the door. Lana was in the bed she had tried to kill herself. They managed to get to her in time and took her to the hospital where her stomach was pumped. And she was then arrested and charged with murder.
What'd I tell you? Damn.
Lana then took a plea deal and she was charged with manslaughter, not murder. And you know, she was saying she had, wait, what'd she say? She had just tried to make him shit himself? And she killed him. She was still lying then. She said she had given him one dose to make him shit his pants when he had clearly been bedridden for days. Like, one squirt of Visine won't kill you. You have to be, like, it takes quite a lot to poison you. You know, he had been taking it over. She'd been putting it in his drinks over the course of like a week, and she probably tried it a month before, tested it out to see, and he recovered after a couple of days, and then she was like, all right, that was practice. This one's for real. Interesting. Well, we will just have to take her unbelievable word for it. She got 25 years in prison for that.
A tangle web we weave. Miss Clayton, you sure have tangled this one up. But you let him suffer for 3 days.
After finding out that Visine was the cause of death, I attempted to take my life as well. I couldn't live with the thought that he did such a terrible thing. That he did such a terrible thing.
You can live with the thought that he did such a terrible thing?
I couldn't live with the thought that he did such a terrible thing.
Or did you say that it did such a terrible thing? I'm not gonna lie to you. The situation in its entirety though is effed up, man. I hate these cases we get where it's like someone want the way out, and the only way they know to get out is to make sure everyone lose, including other people that had nothing to do with the case. I mean, do with the situation. It's like, damn, man. And again, I don't know if he was actually physically or verbally abusive to her, because I wasn't in a relationship. I can't say that. I can say I don't believe he was, but this is weird. Then you try to off yourself and they saved you so you can get
now,
locked
much
up.
like I just told you the story of Lana Clayton, somebody else heard that story too, and he was inspired. Oh man, this guy is stupid as shit.
Whoa.
In 2018, a woman named Stacey Hunsucker died. She had been poisoned with her old friend tetrahydrozoline. Nailed it. Now, allegedly, her husband Josh Hunsucker got the gosh darn idea from Lana Clayton. He'd heard about her story in the news and he was like, well...
I legit thought he was playing. What the fuck?
From Lana Clayton. He'd heard about her story in the news and he was like, well, don't mind if I do. Gaston County, North Carolina is where this all went down.
But did you hear the part, like, she got caught? That part must have been on mute. What the fuck? They're going to examine the body. Oh, this is weird.
Mind if I do? Gaston County, North Carolina is where this all went down, just on the other side of the border from York County. Wasn't even far away. Josh and Stacey were high school sweethearts, living in Mount Holly. They had been married for 8 years and had 2 young daughters together. Josh a paramedic, Stacey a teacher. Josh was the one who found his wife. Found his wife 4 different ways, if you can believe that. Well, I mean, I found her like this way. Oh, wait, no, I mean, One story was that he went outside the house to ensure the cars were locked, as there had been burglaries in the area. Another was he went outside to cut wood. Another just to burn some energy. And another was that he was working on his laptop with his back to his wife. Regardless, he didn't see what happened. 1 second she was fine, the next, he found her slumped over on the couch, and she was gone. Damn. After his wife Stacey's death, Josh collected about $250,000 in...
Okay, That bitch gotta go. Hold up.
$250,000 in.
Hey, that got a dope little beat. I ain't gonna lie. I'm one of them ones, like, I love that song. Oh, I forgot what it is. That's my shit. I ain't gonna cap to you, dog. Cham num cham num cham num cham num brand down. Whoa, whoa. That's my shit, dog. I swear to God, I'm not being funny. Cham num cham num cham num cham num brand down. That's my shit. Man, y'all heard about that one kid? I think it was Chicago, dog. It was an old case, though. He did that to his mom for the insurance money. Crazy.
Josh collected about $250,000 in. What happened though, and how this started kind of unfolding, was that Stacy's mom had it going on. She had something in her head, which was basically, this is.
As soon as you said Stacy mom, I thought of the same shit.
As weird as shit, and that there might be some kind of insurance bullshit. Was that Stacy's mom had it going on. She had something in her head, which was basically, this is weird as shit, and that there might be some kind of insurance bullshit going on. Stacy's mother believed that her son-in-law, I guess ex-son-in-law now, Josh, had been having an affair before Stacy died, and now his mistress was now his girlfriend. She would be right in believing that, by the way. He had been having an affair. This new chick moved into his home that he had shared with his now deceased wife, like, within a couple of months.
Like
in fact, Josh's coworkers would say he moved on pretty quickly and was like,
you can legit, that's fucked up. You can legit just take your kid's mother away, take one of the parents away, and then bring a replacement in that quick. There's no love there. I don't care what you say. There's no love for them kids, that family in general, or the mom. There's no love there. Something is wrong. There's no way you can love them kids and do that to them.
Josh's coworkers would say he moved on pretty quickly and was like, shit happens. Now Josh, he had Stacy cremated like immediately after her funeral, right away, right? So
1 year ago, our lives changed forever. Not a day goes by that I don't think of her. Her encouragement, her smile, how awesome of a mother she was. So much changes when you lose the love of your life and when a child loses their mommy at a young age. What we just talked about. My bad, back to the story. Fuck you looking at. Friends, family, relationships, work, some good and some bad. Some you understand and some you don't. We choose to live happily because that's what she would want. Aw, 218 loves, likes, comments, and whole time Stacy mama and that motherfucker like bullshit. I'm on that ass, boy. I'm on that ass. I'm on them heels. Stop playing.
He was like, shit happens. Now Josh, he had Stacy cremated like immediately after her funeral, right away, right? So investigating how she actually died would be pretty difficult, right? But get a load of this.
Oh.
Stacy just so happened to have been an organ donor, and blood samples were taken from her after her death, and they still had those blood samples even though she was ash. The investigators were then still able.
Rest in peace. I don't know what I believe. I really don't. Far as in like speaking of like when you go, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about when you go. But somehow I hope she saw that. Like,
able to do a she was ash. The investigators were then still able to do a toxicology report, and guess what? In her blood, you'll never believe this, was a fatal amount of tetrahydro Visine.
A North Carolina paramedic whose wife died of what was thought to be a heart attack is now charged with her murder. Prosecutors in Gaston County say Joshua Hunsucker poisoned the mother of his children using eye drops. Family and friends grew suspicious after Stacy Hunsucker's death last September. The victim's mother claimed insurance fraud after Hunsucker cashed in his wife's $250,000 life insurance policies and refused to allow an autopsy. Co-workers also expressed concerns about how quickly he moved on with a new girlfriend.
The complaint alleges Hunsucker murdered his wife so he could collect that money and be with his mistress. The family claims Hunsucker was inspired to weaponize eye drops after a similar case last year in York County, South Carolina, where a woman was accused of murdering her husband with over-the-counter eye drops.
Joshua was arrested and charged with first-degree murder in December 2019. His trial has not been scheduled. He's also got a little bit more trouble than that, though. He's got a wrongful death suit from Stacy's family. He was also indicted for insurance fraud. And in 2019, he set fire to a syringe pump while inside a medical helicopter during flight.
It was just after midnight when this radio transmission came through.
Hey, do you have any calls reference like a helicopter landing on the side of Independence Boulevard?
It was one of Atrium Health's Med Center Air helicopters. One of the crew members, flight paramedic Joshua Hunsucker.
Looks like it's landed over here for some reason.
That reason, we're now learning, according to CMPD, Hunsucker set fire to a syringe pump while the helicopter was mid-flight. No one was injured.
They had to make an emergency landing and he was placed on administrative leave. That's another felony. Why a paramedic would set medical equipment on fire.
And while I'm driving that bitch, hey, what the hell you doing, dog? The fuck? This is no, dog, hell no.
A paramedic would set medical equipment on fire inside a helicopter while it was in the air. I don't know. And here's another one. All right, okay, and first off, I have to say, we gotta fucking ban eye drops in South Carolina. To be safe, let's just say both Carolinas, because it's pissing everybody off, as you can tell. 2 security guards in Hilton Head, South Carolina, allegedly tried to poison their supervisor, Hunter Howard, and South Carolina, you can tell. 2 security guards in Hilton Head, South Carolina, allegedly tried to poison their supervisor. Hunter Howard and Andrew Dottie put eye drops in their boss's coffee. Now, the supervisor didn't drink it. I assume someone saw and stopped him from drinking it. And not a whole lot is out there about this one. Maybe they just fucking hated their jobs, or they thought it would be pretty funny. Or maybe their supervisor is just a dickhead. Who am I to judge? And finally, we have Jesse Rose Kerchevsky? Jesse Polish surname. Thankfully, it's not Carolina, this one, it's Wisconsin. Knocking it out of the park. There, Jesse, 36 years old, is accused of using eye drops, those dirty dogs with the titty-hitty drozzy, to poison and kill her friend, Lynn Hernan. What happened? Well, I hear you barking, big dog. It went down like this. See, 64-year-old Lynn was found dead in October 2018. Jesse had found her and called the police. And when the police arrived, they found Lynn pale, unconscious, and surrounded by crushed up medication. She died shortly after. Crushed up powder? Devil's dandruff, dare I say? Well, whatever it was medication, and looks like a drug overdose, you guys. Case closed. Technically, it is a drug overdose, actually. Jesse had been caring for Lynn, and she said, well, she said she was, you know, a little bit suicidal. She'd been talking about it for a couple of days. She'd been a little bit weird lately, so I guess she just friggin' went ahead and did it. Others who knew Lynn, though, said, that doesn't sound right. Later, Jesse and her mother, Jennifer Flowers, were found to be driving Lynn's Jeep. A Jeep Lynn had promised to her nephew, Lynn's nephew. They were also living in Lynn's house. Interesting. A close friend of Lynn's was the one to call the police and be like, yeah, she wasn't suicidal, and maybe you should look at the mother-daughter situation we got going on here. They essentially inserted themselves into Lynn's life. It also appeared that Lynn had left everything in her will to Jesse.
For real?
Jesse, the police learned, who had a history of forgery and fraud convictions. She had created bank accounts in other people's names, tried to pay hotel bills with fake checks, gotten a loan for a car in her mother's name, and had a gambling addiction, an addiction she financed via fraudulent loans. Lynn then was later found to have a fatal dose of tetrahydrozoline in her system. Her manner of death was changed from suicide to homicide. Jesse, in the meantime, by the way, before this came out, was calling the medical examiner's office all the time.
And the crazy part is, from doing all of that, that's a lot of big shit. That's not just like you got caught stealing some shit from the store. Oh, and then you was scamming. No, that was a lot of big shit. Like, she do this, do this, do this, do this on top of murder, dog. To me, that sounds like one of them type of people. I'm sorry. I don't know if maybe, I think it was Lana, my bad. Couldn't read her. But I feel like that person would show. Like, yo, I can tell you are someone who just carries trouble wherever you go. There's no way this girl was doing all of this shit with her life, dog. And it didn't show, man. I just who knows? She could be a really good fucking liar. I don't know. Man, dog, I'm telling you, because when you meet people like that, where it's like that, they'll lie about anything, they'll steal anything from anyone. I met 2 people like that in my life, and it was shit. It's ugly, dog. You be just wondering, like, man. It's like, I wonder if you just wake up like, all right, what I'm about to fuck up today. Basically, what I'm saying, I wish she'd have caught that and kicked her out of her damn life, man.
Her manner of death was changed from suicide to homicide. Jesse, in the meantime, by the way, before this came out, was calling the medical examiner's office all the time, being like, want to maybe fill me in?
Trying to get updates.
Jesse told everyone, her boyfriend even, that she was pretty much a full-time carer for Lynn, when in reality, she would go over a couple of times a month and just smoke cigarettes. She also had been stealing money from Lynn, so things became pretty clear. But when—
trust me, you'll notice when your money come up missing. Nah.
She also had been stealing money from Lynn, so things became pretty clear. But when interviewed, Jesse told police that yeah, Lynn took eye drops all the time. That was her thing. That's why there was so much tetrahydrozoline in her system. She was just mad about eye drops. Cops retorted with, well, you're not going to have that much in your blood just by squirting it in your eyes. But then she was like, oh wait, yeah, actually I have seen Lynn drink Visine. Now that you mention it, if you can only have that much in your system by drinking it. Yeah, definitely seen her drinking it. In fact, the day before she died, she was having Visine and vodka cocktails. Delicious. Also, Jesse had to explain to the police that any money she spent that was Lynn's. Lynn had given her consent to do so. Lynn had basically given Jesse a credit card and was like, here's your payment for looking after me. The cops didn't believe that at all. Of course, Jesse kept going on with, well, Lynn talked about killing herself all the time, so I guess she just went ahead and had enough. Again, like, third time lucky.
Some people be doing, I ain't gonna lie, some people be doing a good job when they be painting a picture of the person that can no longer defend herself. But this one, get out of here. I wouldn't believe in a damn word.
So I guess she just went ahead and had enough. Again, like, third time lucky, the police did not believe that. The financial records showed that, well, Jesse was allegedly using Lynn's bank accounts like her own piggy banks to the tune of almost $300,000. About $130,000 of that was transferred directly to Jesse herself. About $130,000 of that was transferred directly to Jesse herself. So, Lynn was quite a wealthy woman, and when she died, she was over 70 grand in debt. In June 2021, Jesse was charged with first-degree intentional homicide. No trial date set as of yet.
37-year-old Jesse Kerr appeared in Waukesha County Court Monday, facing 3 charges, including first-degree intentional homicide.
The state believes this defendant has evidenced her capacity to take advantage of at-risk individuals and poses a risk to the public, both through her financial victimization and ultimately violent behavior toward victim A in this case.
And there you have it, folks. A number of stories of people being poisoned and murdered. Good old Visine. Get the red out, get the dead out. Come on now. People are just mad to use it. But then again, in a lot of other stories I've covered, people used antifreeze instead.
I heard about those ones.
I think that one might be a little bit... They're both actually equally horrific.
Yup.
Both sound like incredibly painful ways to go. Some people who almost got away with it. Others who thought it was just a prank, bro. And others who were maybe just a little bit pissed off. And then whatever Jesse was. Mad for the money, that's what. Don't get any ideas, folks. Remember, right? Visine only for the eyezine. Eye drops, not drops dead. Just be a little bitch. Like me, who can't use eye drops because it freaks them out too much.
Yo, I can't.
It stuck. It actually got in my mouth. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can never do that. I remember going through this phase in high school where everybody was wearing like contacts and shit. So I was trying to get color contacts and trying to be like B2K this motherfucker. But I bought some, and because I can't touch my eye. Like, I'm not that type of person. If I get something in my eye, I just gotta wait till the shit fall out. I cannot touch it, whatever. I can't touch it. I couldn't put the contacts in there for shit. Visine, I can't do it. Can't even put water. I can't open my eyes underwater. I gotta have goggles. Like that trip me out. I can't even look at people's eyes when I stare in people's eyes, which is funny. Which is why I told you this before. This is why I catch myself straying away from the camera when I'm talking to it, because I treat it like what it seemed like. I don't treat it like it seemed like how I'm talking to an actual human. And when I do, I can't look at your eyes that long. Like I look at it, look away, because it'll make my eyes start watering. Like I hate on movies when they zoom in on close to people's eyes. I'm like, ooh shit, nigga, that shit hurt. But yeah, the eyes are weird to me. I don't know why. But either way it go, yo, this was freaking crazy, man. I thought we was gonna have more survivor stories too, not gonna lie. This is bullshit. I ain't gonna lie though, that first one, the one that actually done it, whatever, which was BS, she was kind of get me there at one point, because her reaction to me was a little bit at first like, wait, this is kind of convincing. It was a little believable. So I was like, wait, maybe what if she didn't do it? What if it was someone else she had do it or something? I still felt like she had something to do with it. Now, I ain't gonna lie though, for the ones who was claiming, because I don't know whether it happened or not, that they were being abused, or if it was like on some crazy shit, like for real getting abused, then hey, shit, I would say shit happens. You're gonna get what you deserve. If I'm beating my girl all the time and something happened where I go and she caused it, I ain't gonna lie, I would hope my kids, if you don't feel bad, I'm like, wouldn't feel bad. I mean, it's like, hell no, he was beating the shit out of mama. Like, so those was, if it was really happening. All I'm saying is, I don't know, whatever happened, happens. But yo, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here and chill, enjoy my night. You go ahead and enjoy your day, morning, night, evening, whenever you watching this. Be safe out here. Man, I really hope you ain't in no bullshit relationship to the point where it got you thinking about ish like this. Bars. I can't give you no advice on that because I ain't never been in it, and I don't want to do anything to straight anything wrong. But I would say, reach out somewhere to get some help. Talk to somebody you know that can get you some help. For real, for real. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. Enjoy your day. Morning, evening, night. But I'm out.